everyone! Today we will see some simple kitchen tips. The first tip that I'm going to share with you is on how to clean a mixie very easily. Sometimes when we grind certain things, it's not easy to clean the mixie afterwards. Here I just finished grinding my idli dosa batter, and some of the batter goes and sits underneath the blades and between the blades, and it's difficult to clean. So what I do is I add a little water and then add a few drops of your dishwashing liquid and close the mixie and let it run for a few seconds. Let it run for about say 30 seconds or 40 seconds. By doing this, the mixie will automatically get cleaned by itself. After that, open the mixie and try cleaning it. It will be very easy. You don't have to put in an effort to clean between the blades. Everything will come out very easily. So this is a very simple trick that you can follow. This is how I clean my mixie whenever it's difficult to clean. See how clean and nice it is now. The next tip that I'm going to share with you is on how to cook a paneer soft. Sometimes when we cook paneer, it becomes hard and rubbery. So to avoid this, what I do is whenever you cut the paneer, just before starting to cook, cut the paneer and then soak it in warm water for about 10 to 15 minutes. This water needs to be slightly hot. Add your paneer cubes into this hot water and let it soak for about 10 minutes. I usually let it sit till I'm ready to add the paneer into my gravy. This always makes the paneer soft. The other tip is whenever you're cooking paneer, make sure you add it at the very last possible minute. Don't add the paneer early on and keep mixing and cooking the gravy for 10 to 15 minutes, because when you overcook the paneer, it always turns out hard and rubbery. So I wait till the very last possible minute and then I add it, mix it with the gravy, switch off the flame, and then the paneer, close the kadai and let the paneer cook in the remaining heat. That is more than enough. This will give you a very soft paneer. Also, you can try using malai paneer. That will also give you a very soft paneer after cooking. Try these two tips. It always gives you paneer just like the ones that you get in the store. The next tip that I'm going to share with you is we all use RO water system in our house. One of the disadvantages of this RO system is that there is a lot of water which comes out as reject water or waste water. I usually use this water to wash my vessels. I don't waste this excess water. So I'm going to show you how to do it easily. I collect the excess reject water which comes out in a container and I place this container a little elevated. The thing that is below is just a stand. It's a stool, so that when you wash vessels, it's a little easier. The reject water gets collected in the can above. Make sure this can has a tap so that it will be a little easier for you to wash vessels. So what I do is whenever I switch on the RO system and catch water in bottles and in pots, the reject water starts collecting in this can here. I wait till this can is completely full with the reject water and then I can start washing vessels so that it will be easier then. Now this can is full with the reject water. I'll show you how I wash vessels. It's very simple and very easy to wash vessels like this. Since there is a tap in that can, it's very easy to regulate water. This is how I use up my reject water, and mostly I won't have any leftover reject water, but if I do, I use it to mop floor or to water the plants, or you can even use it to wash your car or your bikes. If you have some space in your kitchen counter, then you can make this setup and use up the reject water like this. The next tip that I'm going to share with you is with leftover idli dosa batter. When your dosa batter is over, instead of just putting your container to wash, you can use the remaining leftover idli dosa batter as a natural face pack. The batter that is left sticking to your container can be used as a very nice face pack. If you have any pigmentation problem in your body, then you can use this wherever you have pigmentation problem. You can use it at the back of your neck or your face or your elbow, anywhere. This is a wonderful natural face pack or a scrub. To apply it, leave it on for 10 minutes and then you can wash it up for a clear and a nice soft skin. Next, I'm going to show you how to clean your comb easily and quickly. The method that I'm going to show you will take only 5 minutes. Take all the dirty comb in a box and then pour some water on it. If you are in a hurry and you want to finish cleaning your comb in 5 minutes, then you can pour hot water on this dirty comb. But if you're not in a hurry, you can also pour normal tap water and it will work just the same. To this hot water, add a little bit of detergent. Whichever soap you use to wash your clothes, add a little bit of that powder. This soap and hot water is more than enough to clean the comb. But if you have dandruff issues in your family, then it's good to clean your comb with some anti-dandruff shampoo. Since we have dandruff issues at home, I add a little bit of anti-dandruff shampoo. Whichever anti-dandruff shampoo you use at home, add about half a teaspoon of this. Along with this, I also add a little bit of lemon juice because lemon is very good to fight dandruff. So it's good to clean your comb with anti-dandruff shampoo and lemon. Mix it all together and just leave it for 5 minutes. You can see how the dirt is just coming out by itself. After 5 minutes, the comb which has little dirt in it, all of it will just come out by itself. If there's too much of dirt sticking to the comb, then it won't come out so easily. Half of it has come out in this comb. The rest of it, you just take a toothbrush and clean it gently and it will come out very quickly. This is how I clean my comb, but I don't add hot water. I soak the comb in normal tap water with some soap and anti-dandruff shampoo. And I leave it for some time, and after some time I come and I wash it and it's all gone. So only if you want to clean it quickly, add hot water. Otherwise, you can add normal tap water itself. Then when the comb is completely clean, wash it under running tap water since we've used soap. This is how I clean all of my comb at home. It's a very simple method and it's very quick also. Do try this out. The next tip that we're going to see is how to store cheese after grating it. Usually when we grate cheese, use a little bit and then leave the pack as it is in the fridge. It can get molded and it will get spoiled. To avoid this, what I do is take a pack of cheese and grate it fully, full pack, grate it completely, and then add 2 teaspoons of corn flour to this grated cheese and mix it in. Now the grated cheese won't stick to each other. Since we are adding only 2 teaspoons of corn flour, there won't be any change in the cheese taste or texture also. Mix it all in and put it in a freezer safe box and you can leave it in the freezer. Now because we are throwing away the cover of this cheese packet, we won't know when this cheese is getting expired. So I just put a small label, a paper on top of this box, and I write down the expiry date so that I'll remember it. I don't use a lot of cheese in my cooking, so this will stay for a long time. So it's best if I write the expiry date. This is after 1 month. As you can see, I haven't used a lot of cheese. But whenever you need it, just take it out of the freezer and leave it for 10 minutes on the counter and see it's still very nice. The cheese is not stuck to each other, it's not clumped together, but it's nice and well separated. This way it's very easy to use. The next tip that I'm going to share with you is whenever we break open a coconut, it's very difficult to take out the flesh immediately. When you try removing the flesh of the coconut immediately, it's not easy. So what I do is whenever I buy coconut, I break it open, put it in a cover and then I leave it in the freezer. And whenever I need the coconut again, I take it out, and this time when you remove the flesh from the shell, it comes out very quickly and very easily. The whole portion of that flesh comes out very quickly. This way it's easy to remove the flesh. See how easily it comes out. And then you can cut it into small pieces and use it for your cooking, and the remaining you can store it in a box. The next tip that I'm going to share is how to peel garlic easily. For this, take some water in a small saucepan and heat the water for about 1 or 2 minutes. Just slightly warm it up and then add the garlic to this hot water. When we have to make ginger garlic paste and we need to peel a lot of garlic, this is the easiest method. Add the garlic to this hot water and let it soak and rest for a few minutes. After some time, once it's nicely soaked, when you start peeling the garlic, it comes off very easily. You don't even need a knife to peel the garlic. Just with your fingers, you can peel it off very easily. You can do the same with small onions also. So these are all some of the tips that I wanted to share. Even if 1 or 2 tips is useful for you, do try it out. Until next time, bye bye.